Reactavox started in 1988, and we began in Atlanta, in the basement of our house there. We had a soundproof room in the basement. A friend of ours, Dina, was an incredible guitar player, and we knew her from a band that she was in called Skirt, a really great band. They were big on the scene, and she introduced us, being Nick and I, my husband, to a guy named Ted Grau. And Nick and I have played together in bands since 1988. And Reactavox was formed in 1998. So Nick and I already have a decade of playing together in different bands. And we met Ted through Dina and just started jamming. And we were just kind of rocking out in the basement, having fun, and eventually, for whatever reason, maybe Dina couldn't make some of the jams. She had her own band going. It ended up a lot of times just being Nick, Ted, and me, and just ended up organically into putting a band together. And Ted, so he came from a really exciting musical place, very creative, a lot of different guitar noises and so forth, and we just really liked the sound. It was really fresh and fun and grungy but melodic, dark yet poppy. So that's kind of how Reactavox started. We just started playing, and I played bass, Ted played guitar, and Nick played the drums. I played bass and was the primary vocalist. Ted and Nick did some backups, and later on Ted did a few songs where he was primary vocals and I was backing vocals. But that is how it all started. Once we got enough material together, we did exclusively all original music that we wrote and recorded with awesome guys in Athens, Georgia, Chase Park Transduction Studios, a guy named Dave Barbie, who used to play with Bob Mould in the band Sugar. Bob Mould, guitarist for the famous punk band Hooswadoo. And so we recorded, and of course played show after show after show, typically in the Southeast. When we were a three-piece, a lot of shows in downtown Atlanta since we lived there, some very close to the house in Virginia Highlands. It's another area called Little Five Points. They had some cool clubs. So we played a lot in Atlanta, played a lot up in Athens. Those were our two kind of hot spots. We also traveled and played a club down in Florida called the Covered Dish, which was fun. And I put out 3 albums as a three-piece, I think, and one 7-inch vinyl with the A and the B side. That was fun. And then in the year 2000, we decided, Nick and I decided to move from Atlanta up to north of Chicago, where we are now, in Lake Bluff. So the band had to break up, which was unfortunate. Last album that we put out in the year 2000, Compressor, was in rotation on 175 different college radio stations around the country and climbing the charts with people like Modest Mouse and others. So it was an exciting time. But we all had day jobs, corporate jobs for the most part, and couldn't leave our jobs to go on tour to support all the airplay we were getting in markets from California to Alaska to New York to Florida, all over. So that was rough to kind of have to walk away from that because we couldn't put forth the effort to really be in a band full time. So that was hard. So yeah, Nick and I moved and really took about 2 years off, during which that time Nick learned how to play guitar all on his own, taught himself, which was kind of cool. And after that, we started playing music together again. which would have been like 2002, and started again with bass and drums. And that didn't work out too well, so I switched to guitar, and the new Reactavox became guitar, drums, and vocals. And from that point, we went on to play shows, a ton of shows in downtown Chicago because there's so many great clubs. We also went on a tour during the summer of 2007 or 6 called the Love Thy Enemy Tour, and we took our RV and played Athens, Georgia, played clubs in Wilmington, North Carolina, Chapel Hill, North Carolina. Just did like a 2-week through the Southeast, so that was a lot of fun. And since that time, we've still been writing, still been recording, and really not playing a lot of shows over the past couple of years, just kind of concentrating on work. But every once in a while we do something local, maybe down in the Victoria Super Jams or something like that. So one of these years we'll get back to playing real rock clubs, perhaps, or putting out albums again.